Garrett, why don't you go ahead and start the movie? As Jack said, we had to develop a test or a vehicle for launching balloons in winds up to 30 miles per hour. Now, this is something that, as far as I know, has never been done before. So our machine shop, under the direction of Paul Johnson, and particularly with Chuck Catlin doing most of the design work, designed a vehicle shaped a lot like a covered wagon. We gave him some pretty stringent requirements to work from. One thing, we were planning on flying from Canton Island at this time, and a ship goes to Canton occasionally. So we had to plan on using air transportation in and out of Canton for supplying our operation. So one of the restrictions was that the vehicle for launching the balloon had to be air transportable. So it was made up a lot like an erector set out of pieces no longer than 12 feet that could be assembled in the field. And you see Matt Reynolds with his big hat, and Paul Johnson with the red hat. I guess that's Bob Cabrera, or Bob Frickman with the camera over there taking pictures, and Chuck Catlin with the visor. This is to prove to you that the wind was really blowing that day. Bob Cabrera made the initial arrangements for use of the Bonneville salt flats to test the Ghost Wagon and the launching of balloons from the Ghost Wagon. The Chamber of Commerce in Salt Lake handles the use of the Bonneville salt flats, and Bob went over and talked to the people. He told them that we were building a vehicle over in Boulder that we'd like to test on the flats, and they asked him, well, how fast does it go? And Bob told him, well, if we've got conditions are right and we have a good tailwind, we might get up to 30 miles an hour. One of the jokers over there recommended that we could save ourselves the trouble of going out there and test this thing out on the city and county building parking lot in Salt Lake. I think those mountains are probably about 20 miles away, so we had, as you see, considerable distance that we could run in any direction. The wagon framework is essentially assembled. That's Matt Reynolds, I believe, on his back, tying the cover to the Ghost Wagon to the backbone of the Ghost Wagon. And this cover that we're fastening on now is to hold the balloon. It completely encloses the balloon like a covered wagon. And you can see a piece of blue nylon webbing that went down the top of the, it's obscured here, but this is a form of a big long zipper that goes down the length of the whole wagon. We'll get a better view of that in a moment here. The cover's on one side. At this point, in a few minutes, the balloon will be laid in the wagon. There's Matt still on his back underneath. Jack says, are you sure he's not asleep? There's the balloon inside the wagon now, and the blue nylon webbing with a nylon-covered cable going down to hold the webbing together. And this acts as a big zipper, and the balloon's being inflated. You can see the canvas bulging. It's about a half the way inflated at this point. Okay, here's the actual speed run on the Bonneville salt flats. Notice we're going downhill here. This gave us a little better velocity. The wind's behind us, and we're trying to maintain a speed now so that we neutralize the wind. The balloon's coming out from the back of the wagon. That's because that's the end that unzips first. We're going a little bit faster than the wind, which is holding the balloon down, and we're making speed corrections now so that the balloon is coming directly up overhead. And with the unlimited space and direction capability on the flats, this is deceptively simple. It's a very easy thing to do, to put the balloon right overhead and maintain it there. It didn't work quite this way on Ascension. Here are the simulated packages just being, we just let them into the air hand over hand. This was at about 25 miles an hour. This is the way the balloon behaves when the wind isn't neutralized. We're actually in the process of destroying the balloon at this point. I think we now own 2 records here at NCAR. One record is the fastest balloon launch, and the other record is the slowest speed record on the Bonneville Salt Flats.